Good night, guys. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Chelle. If you're new and this is the first time seeing me, hey, what's up? If not, and you've always tuned in, welcome back. I am so happy for you to be here. Tonight's video is gonna be a little bit different, so I'm just gonna start out right now giving a little disclaimer, tiki time out. If you're a family of mine, don't watch this video. And if you're under 18, don't watch this video. Okay, but now that we've gotten that all cleared up, girl, welcome to the party, and let's jump right into it. Okay, so pretty much what happened was, I gotta take y'all back to bring y'all up to speed based on what the fuck is going on. So what happened was, I was a freshman in college. So I was a freshman there and I met this girl. She was Korean. And I really liked her because it's like, she kind of broke that weird little mold of like, if you're Asian of some sort, you're like a nerd, because this bitch was in a 2-year program and took 4 years to get her degree. But that's another story for another story time, and I am so not judging her. That's not what we do here. We don't judge people. But anyways, so I was with her and we were best friends, and pretty much like, she would always cheat on her man. Like, she was so promiscuous. Like, she had a boyfriend that was getting ready to pretty much do anything this girl wanted. Like, she could ask him to get her anything in the world and he would do it. And it was even worse because like, she was rich, so it's like, she didn't really need anything because she was able to afford it anyways, but she would make guys like buy her things just to like buy her things, right? So she's with this Hispanic guy. He's breaking his back to impress her and to buy shit. And, you know, pretty much like, she's just talking to other guys. Like, if we're out and like other guys are like hitting on her, like she'll respond and give them her number and shit. And I'm just like, yo, this is fucking crazy. So whatever, I was with my Hispanic boyfriend at the time, and that was like my first and only really real relationship. But this nigga was broke as fuck. Like, he spent the majority of our entire fucking relationship unemployed. So he was making absolutely no money, and whatever money he did make from his little gang, or well, not gang, but like drug related activities, which again, another fucking story time that I'm gonna get to, was just like, I guess he was more worried about spending it on himself. Like, he didn't really give a fuck about me. So whatever. So her knowing all of this, that was the time where like on Instagram, you know, the whole Instagram fronting thing was kind of like making its debut, like where people would just totally front for the gram. So I remembered this, and I think I only remembered it because the guy reminded me of Flo Rida. But this motherfucker sends me a request and follows me on Instagram. So, you know, curious me, and also I was just going through this little really materialistic time in my life where I'm just like, you know, I'm watching my friend, which is older than me and rich as fuck, get showered by guys, and I'm just like, you don't even need to be showered, like you can get your own shit, you know. So all of this is, keep in mind, all of this is going on with me right now, and I was 18 at this point. So I'm not young and impressionable and shit, and I'm seeing all this stuff, and I'm just like, shit, I deserve to be pampered too. Like, shit, I'm the prettier friend. Like, what the fuck? No tea, no shade. So, you know, I see him, and I start going through his Instagram feed, and he seems to be living this lavish life. Keyword, seems to be living this lavish life. So, whatever, I start talking to him through DM or whatever, and he's just like, oh yeah, you know, you should come hang out with me, we'll have a good time, blah blah blah. And little stupid fucking naive me was like, okay, sounds like a great idea. So meeting day comes, and I'm supposed to be in class. My mom thinks I went to school, okay? However, I fucking ditched class to go see this motherfucker, because I was like, I'm about to have the illest come up. Like, she'll thank me later. Like, she'll thank me for fucking skipping this day of classes. Like, I'm about to have the illest come up. So meeting day comes. He kind of tells me where to go, where to come to see him or whatever. So nobody knew I was gonna see this motherfucker. And first of all, once he told me where he was at, I was just like, okay, hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on. That's not where rich niggas live, but okay. You know, red flag number 1. Let's skip that. So I tell my fucking friend, and I'm like, she was the only person I told her. I'm just like, girl, I'm about to go see this guy, you know, so if I end up in a freezer somewhere, at least you know that I pretty much went to see this motherfucker, and you should report it to the cops if I go missing. So he told me he lives in the Bronx. OMG. Keep in mind, back at that time, there was this whole ass epidemic where pretty much people were running around the Bronx, like literally running around the fucking Bronx with HIV infected needles, sticking random people because they didn't want to be the only ones with HIV. So I had already knew that about the Bronx. And then apart from the Bronx, like the news always really like downplays the Bronx in like the worst way ever. So in my mind, I was just like,
this is the most dangerous borough ever. I have never been, don't intend on going to this bitch ever. Like, I'm not trying to go to the Bronx.
But that's where this motherfucker lives, and I'm trying to be on the come up wave. So I'm just like,
sometimes in life you have to make sacrifices. Sometimes you sacrifice your own fucking safety, but whatever, you know, come up.
Well, I'm on the bus going, and he was deep, bitch. He was deep in this fucking area because like I had to pass my friend's house. She lived in Flushing, like she lived in Chinatown where all the fucking Asians are. So if I had to pass her house, and her house is already deep as fuck from my house, then this nigga was super deep, okay? He was super fucking deep. So I already had an attitude because it was early. He was taking me all the way to the Bronx, and he was supposed to come pick me up. Like when I got off the bus, he was supposed to be there. So then he gives me some bullshit ass story about like, oh yeah, I got tied up with some shit. I can't make it to, you know, where I need to pick you up. So, you know, just, you know, he was directing me pretty much. He was like, you know, just like walk over the street, cross the street, and like go get in one of these little cabs or whatever, and they'll bring you my way. So I'm just like, oh my fucking God, like you were trying to get me killed. Like, I'm like Alice in Wonderland. I was so fucking shook, bitch. Like, I got off the bus and I'm just like, I imagine these motherfuckers know I don't belong here. I'm just a little fucking sheltered ass Queens girl, and I'm just like, oh my God, all these motherfuckers are gonna take one look at me and know that this bitch is Alice in Wonderland right now. Like, she does not belong here. This is not where she goes. She don't live here. And I just started like having the worst thoughts like ever, right? So whatever, jump in the cab. I already had attitude because I'm just like, you doing too much. Get to this motherfucker house. He pays the cab driver, and I was kind of nervous about that too because I'm just like, oh my God, Bronx niggas are like low-key schemers. Like, is he just gonna like pretty much text me and be like, oh, when the car gets here, just bolt and run into this door? Like, you know, I was kind of like nervous that he wasn't gonna pay the cab, and me being the person I am, I would have to like come out of my pockets to pay for my fucking ride. I'm just like, what the fuck? So I was mad nervous, but luckily the cab got there. He was downstairs. He paid the cab man. We hugged or whatever. He kissed me on the cheek, and then this nigga drops another bomb on me. He goes, oh, at around 2, we gotta come downstairs to pick up my son. Skirt. Bitch. You said what? You said at around 2, we gotta come downstairs to pick up your son? In all the time we were conversing, didn't you not think this was like a vital piece of information to tell me? Because mind you, his son was nowhere on his social media, like nowhere at all. He was pretty much living life like he was a single motherfucker with no kids. And I'm just like, okay, your son is nowhere on your Instagram. You failed to talk about him when we were DMing each other back and forth. So like, this is information I needed to know. Like, what the fuck? So red flag number 2 at this point. I'm just like, at this point I was already beginning to get over it, but again, come up is life. So we get into it, and then I also realized like red flag number 3, it's a project. Like, I realize he's in a project. By the way, no tea, no shade to anyone that lives in a project. Like, I'm not here to judge nobody. Like, some of my best friends live in projects, and that's fucking fine. The difference is I know these motherfuckers live in a project. They told me beforehand. They told my sheltered ass what the fuck was going on, and I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I live in a house and you live in a project. It's no difference. But my thing is, it's like, I guess I had a whole different picture of what I was gonna walk into, and it was just, oh my god, like the contrast was so grim, and it slapped me in my fucking face so hard. I was just like, what the fuck have I gotten myself into? Walk up into this tiny ass fucking project apartment, and we're talking whatever. 2 o'clock rolls around, we goes downstairs to get his son. Whatever, his son is like in, you know, his room, because you know kids, like, his son was relatively young, so you know kids, once they get around TVs, they don't know nobody exists. So his son was in the room, and, you know, just minding his own business. We were pretty much Netflixing and chilling before that was even a thing, you know what I'm saying? So we're like watching movies and stuff, and he starts fondling me, and I start doing things. We start doing things to each other, you know, whatever. So then I guess we got lost in time, you know, just having fun, talking or whatever. And he hears keys jingling, and he goes, fuck. Like, I think I was still giving him head, bro. Like, I really think I was still giving him head. And he goes, fuck, that's my mom. She must have gotten out of work early. By the way, my mom's a cop. And I'm just, bitch, Mr. Crab meme as fuck. Mr. Crab meme as fuck. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me you have a son, you live in the dirty ass Bronx, you live in a project, and you don't even live in a project by yourself, but you live in a project with your mother? Oh my god, bitch, mind fucking blown. So now I'm trying to get myself together, because, you know, titty hanging out, whatever. I'm trying to put myself together, because I'm just like, I didn't even fucking want to meet your mom. Like, why am I meeting this? I didn't want to meet your funky ass son. Now I gotta meet your mom. Like, what the fuck? So I'm trying to get myself together to look somewhat presentable. She comes through the door. He greets her at the door, whatever. He's like, oh, hey, ma, this is my friend, blah, blah. And I'm sitting on the fucking couch like a dumb bitch, like, hey, moms. How are you? How are you doing today? She looks me up and down, but like, she was trying to be nice about it, and she was just like, oh, hey. And then she looks him up and down, and she goes, oh, by the way, your fly is down. Oh my god, bitch. I have never been so embarrassed in my life. I swear to God, if I was a light-skinned bitch, I would have been cherry red at that point, because bitch, you see the color on my lips? I would have been that red, okay, if I was a light-skinned bitch, because I was so embarrassed, bro. Like, I'm looking at him like, you could have at least pulled up your fucking fly, bro. Like, this is not a good look. Mind you, I never had plans to meet this motherfucker again, because once I realized he was not living the life that he was showing on Instagram, I already knew it was a dub. I already knew I was never, like, the whole time I was thinking to myself, I'm never gonna see you again. I'm gonna block you as soon as I leave your fucking house. I am not talking to you ever again. So whatever, that happens. That little awkwardness blows over. She comes in the house to like drop off her like police tool kit, whatever, tool bag, and she's like, oh, I have to go somewhere, bye, whatever, and she leaves the house. So then he starts like getting ready to like cook or whatever, because I guess he was really good at cooking, I will say that. I'm a bitch of my own heart. I love food. I'm a foodie. I can't help it. So the nigga was good at cooking, okay? So he starts getting shit together to start cooking. And I'm just still sitting there on the couch shook as fuck, because I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, whoa, this day has been a whirlwind of just straight up fuck ups. At that point, like, I can't remember if he was like trying to like get back to the mood, and I was just like, no, get the fuck out of here. Like, your mom's gonna walk back in here again, and I'm gonna be looking like fucking Mr. Krabs. Like, I'm good. So he starts cooking, we start talking and laughing, and then to make shit even 10 times more awkward, his friends come over. I guess it was like this random thing where it's like his friends always popped in. So his fucking friends come over and they're all looking at me like, who's this bitch? Like, is this the bitch of the week? Like, okay, what's her name? And I'm just looking at all of them like, oh dear, like, I don't really want to get to know you. You don't have to get to know me. It's fine. You're never gonna see me again, whatever. But they're being really good sports about it, and they start talking to me and like introducing themselves one by one and like shaking my hand and shit. And I'm just like, okay, hi, welcome. Ah, you guys are so cool. So whatever. They're sitting there talking and conversing like friends do, like regular. Like, I'm not even in the room anymore at this point. Like, I started feeling fucking invisible because I'm just like, these motherfuckers sitting here talking like I don't even exist. Like, they were trying to include me in the conversation, but I just didn't feel comfortable enough to even like try to talk or be around them, pretty much. So that fucking happens, and then it gets to the point where I guess when I got like really sick and tired of just sitting there looking fucking stupid, I'm sitting literally right next to him, and I text him and I go, yeah, I think I'm ready to go now. So he reads his text or whatever, he looks at me, he looks at his friends, and he's like, oh, give me 1 second, like, I'm gonna walk her down. I'm gonna call a cab and walk her down. So you guys just, you know, whatever, chill out here, you know, chill up here, whatever, I'll be back. So obviously he leaves these motherfuckers in the house because he knows them. They're friends. I had to make the trek all the way fucking downstairs with you because I was gonna magically fit something from your mom's project apartment in my bag. Okay. Whatever. So he calls the cab company comes and gets me. And I could not wait. Like, when I tell you I couldn't wait to get in that fucking cab and get away from him, like, I couldn't fucking wait, bro. This cab could not have come any faster. So the cab finally comes, I get in it, I play nice or whatever, and it was just like, okay, yeah, it was so nice hanging out with you. It was so nice hanging out with you. I enjoyed my day. Oh, you know, we'll keep in touch or whatever. So he pays the cab driver, tells the cab driver, you know, to drop me off by like whatever to get the bus. And I get off after the cab dropped me off and I wait for the bus. And then I go the fuck home. So in going home, I swear to God, the whole way back on this deep ass bus ride, I'm thinking to myself, this was the most epic wasted day of my life. Like, it really annoyed me because I'm the type of person where if you know me, like, personally, I am peeved. Like, wasted time is my #1 pet peeve. I hate it so much. I hate it with a passion. I hate people that waste time. It's just so fucking annoying. And I'm just like, you know what? If you waste money, you can always make that back. If you waste food, you could always get that back. But time, it's like, bro, once you waste time, like, you can't get that back. Like, that's already in history. Like, that's already behind you. Like, you can't reach into history and be like, come on back 5 hours. Like, I want you. Like, it doesn't work like that. So, bitch, I was so pissed. I'm texting my fucking little ass Asian friend and I'm just like, bitch, shit just went so left. Let me tell you, bitch. Like, it was such a disaster. Like, I'm pretty much talking wild shit on the bus going back home. And then it hits me. Like, it didn't even hit me then. It hits me now. You know, my 23-year-old self is just kind of like, okay, the #1 red flag should have been the fact that this nigga did not even send you a cab from your house to his house. Because if he's supposed to have money like that, because this nigga was on Instagram posing on yachts and shit, it's like, if you're supposed to have money like that, then it would have been absolutely nothing for you to send a cab to my house, to your house. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, that should have been red flag #1, but stupid 18-year-old naive ass fuck me was just like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna take the bus to your house, like the epic broke bitch that I was. So I'm just like, yo, I'm talking wild shit. I get to my house because he was like, oh, you know, let me know when you get home or whatever. Get to my house, block that motherfucker on Instagram, tell him I'm home, and block his fucking number, bitch. I blocked his number so fast. I didn't even want him to reply, bro. I just blocked his number after I'm like, I'm home. Blocked his number to never be seen again. I was just like, oh my God. And then I jumped in the shower because I felt like I felt so dirty. I was just like, oh my god, like I literally wasted my time for a nigga that deadass lives a second life. And then it started, like the wheels started to turn in my head as I'm in the shower, and I'm just like, yo, like, don't you have real friends? Like, don't you have real friends in real life? I mean, who are those motherfuckers? Like, who are those 3 motherfuckers that I met that be looking at your Instagram like, oh, yeah, this nigga's frontin' OD. But then it's like, you're still friends with this motherfucker. Like, I can't be friends with people like that. Like, that's just crazy to me. Like, you're out here perpetuating a life that he doesn't even live. Like, he lives his life in his mind. And then now coming to think about it, it's like, okay, if this is your living situation, it's either you floss with whatever little money you get from, I don't know, fucking selling drugs or whatever, public assistance, to go down to Miami and live this type of lifestyle or pretend to, or you fucking Photoshop yourself into these pictures, bro, because there's no way in hell you can be living this life this often. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It still doesn't make sense to me up to this day. It doesn't even seem like you have money to get to Miami via a fucking plane, bro. So, oh my god, that was the first and last time I ever did anything like that. I was just like,
I'm straight, I'm good, I'm gonna get my money naturally, the way I'm supposed to, working hard and not trying to use my looks to get ahead. Like, I'm over it. Like,
I couldn't believe it. It dumbfounded me that there are people that live life like that. And when I told my friend, she was just like, oh shit. She was like, girl, you got the ultimate catch, because she was like, it's crazy that it even went down like that. Like, she was like, well, how did he react when, you know, you were slowly starting to see his whole little facade like unfolding? And I'm like, this nigga is so deep into his own fucking mind that he just played it off. Like, it just kind of rolled off for him, like, oh, well, this is normal. This is normal. I flex on fucking Instagram, and then when girls meet me in real life, I totally act like everything's fine. I totally act like I wasn't just acting like a millionaire online. And yeah. So that was the time that I literally got skimmed, bitch. I got skimmed by an Instagram imposter, honey. Oh my god. Learn from my lesson. And if you're like young, like if you're young, like how I was young when this story pretty much took place, it's like, don't ignore your gut feelings. Like, if it's one thing as a woman you're born with, is fucking intuition, bro. You're born with that shit. As a woman, you got it. Like, it's there. Whenever your gut starts giving you signs that shit is just going left, you need to go ahead, and if you're not fucking with it completely, get out. Because I was just thinking the whole time, red flag after red flag after red flag. I ignored it. Like, I literally ignored every single red flag that was thrown at me, and I was just like, yeah, rock on. Like, I'm about to be a rich Instagram bitch. And it's like, no. No. Just don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. But that was my video. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.